Something weird happened throughout the summer, but not a lot of people, including myself, was talking about it because there was so much going on in the political world. Scientists said that this summer was supposed to be the worst summer in terms of hurricanes for Floridians. But when it came down to it, Florida didn't get any. Until this weekend, when we saw Helene kill 30 people as of today. Of course, this is the media's time to say that they were right, and all of you that did not trust them are evil, and you do not believe in global climate change, blah, 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 which they started doing already. It is not just about that. They want to try to predict the weather so paranoid people can give up control and they can have complete control over what we can do and tell us when to sleep, when to eat, when to drink, and when to live, or when we have access to the sun, like Bill Gates wants to do. This is getting crazy very, very quick. Let's talk about that in SNL making fun of Trump for almost getting his head shot off. Disgusting. With all of that being said, let's dig in.
Facts over tracks, isn't that spitting slow, spitting fast, I could roast, I could gas, think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past.
Digging right in, we actually have the Florida situation, a hurricane that's happening in Florida. Obviously, it's a really bad situation, and it's a devastating flooding coming from that hurricane. So, this is a Daily Wire article. Devastating flooding from Helene besets North Carolina's Atheville. Local death toll reaches 30. We're giving tremendous losses today. County sheriff, I should say, Quinn Miller says Hurricane Ellen, and its remnants slammed Asheville, North Carolina, and its mountainous county, particularly hard over the past couple of days in what one local official described as a biblical devastation. The storm, which became a powerful Category 4 hurricane before making landfall late on Thursday, swept through the southern eastern United States into the weekend, and dozens of deaths across Florida, Georgia, Carolinas, and Virginia have been attributed to it. Visceral images of submerged buildings have emerged out of Buncombe County, and in particular Asheville, where the National Weather Service said devastating flooding had taken place. On Sunday, local authorities said up to 30 people were dead in the county because of the storm, which is just crazy. In the year 2024, how is there still people dying from hurricanes? Obviously, we need to get some better technology over here. Obviously, we have in Florida, in Georgia, and stuff like that. Whenever you are in the path of hurricanes and hurricanes are more likely to hit your area, you are mandated to get hurricane insurance, which covers your house if you do get a hurricane infecting your house and you need to get your house completely replaced. So obviously, hurricane insurance is a little bit more expensive. But the thing is, if you're still in your home and people have warned you and you really have nowhere else to go, there is nowhere else to go. And that's just the most upsetting part about all of this. What are you going to book a trip away when you have no money? No. These insurance companies aren't going to do that for you. But the thing is, I mean, you're stuck within a rock and a hard place, right? If you can't leave your house because you really can't afford to leave your house, what I would do is I would just drive to another state and I would just stay there for the next couple of days. I would just stay in my car if anything. Like, worst case scenario, I would rather be here than to not be living in flooded inside of my house. So that's the most crazy thing about this. We are grieving tremendous losses today. So, I mean, of course, sorry for anybody that has lost a loved one because of this storm. I just really don't know what I would do in this situation because we do have hurricanes where I am. I'm from Massachusetts, the New England area, and we don't have this bad of hurricanes. Like, we have hurricanes, we have some rain, we have some flooding on select streets. And where I used to live has never gotten flooded. Where I live now, it does not get flooded whatsoever. Where my friend lives, it does get flooded on the streets, but as long as you stay off the street, and more into your house, because all the houses are built more higher because of this situation going on over there. But as long as you stay off the street itself, you just won't get affected by it, and it's maybe up into your ankle. It's never going to be up higher than your house, like what this is in Florida. So I don't even know what I would do if I was in that situation. Asheville, a city of roughly 95,000 residents, located in Blue Ridge Mountains region, received 14 inches of rain over the last 3 days, which is just crazy. Some other areas got as much as 30 inches or 4 months worth of rainfall, according to Fox Weather. North Carolina is strong, and our first responders are the best in the nation. I am thankful for their hard work, and for risking their lives to protect all North Carolinians. This is an unprecedented tragedy that requires an unprecedented response, said North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper, a Democrat. The Asheville Citizen Times noted that the storm caused power outages, dam and reservoir breaches, downed trees, and cell service disruptions, and created impassable roads and caused people to be stuck in their homes. And this is exactly the situation. You want to leave your home, but you can't because your car is going to get totaled because water is going to get up into your exhaust pipe and your car is going to be over and done with. This is like the one time this is like the few times that I would say, okay, well, this would be better with an EV because of the fact that you don't have an exhaust at the bottom of the car, so you could probably go right through this thing with no problem whatsoever. As long as it's not above where your doors are, you should be fine to go through it. But the thing is, with cars, obviously, you have the exhaust pipe, so the water is going to go up into your exhaust pipe. And as you know, EVs don't have an exhaust pipe because there is absolutely no reason for one in an EV. So that might be a little bit better of a situation, but still, if it is up to like 30 inches, that's several feet. Your car is not going to be able to go through that, so you're going to need a boat, which is the best possible thing to just get right out of that thing. But still, this is a complete disaster going on over there. President Joe Biden has approved disaster relief for North Carolina as well as Florida, Tennessee, and Virginia to make federal resources available to help with the recovery efforts in Buncombe and in other counties. But he and Vice President Kamala Harris has been criticized for not doing more. It is a complete catastrophe in Asheville, North Carolina, said the RNC research account on X in a post that features a clip of a news report of the devastation left by Helene. Biden is at the beach and Kamala is too busy with her San Francisco fundraisers to notice, of course, because these people in the White House right now just do not care whatsoever about this. And I think that Florida's response to everything else. So I believe Florida's response to this has been great so far. And you can look back at Florida's response to a lot of other natural disasters. As soon as there's a natural disaster, boom. Ron DeSantis is right there with electricians. He said, listen, we have fleets and fleets of electricians ready to actually make repairs during the storm to make sure that anybody impacted by this electricity-wise is back online. We have hurricane relief already ready, where we're going to be searching people's houses to make sure if they're trapped, they can come out on boats. Ron DeSantis is really, really good at disaster relief, and I have no doubt at all that he's going to make a quick recovery from all of this. But the thing is, also, a lot of people's houses are still affected from the last time that they had a hurricane a few short years ago. Because some family friends of mine also still don't have a roof, so they have a tarp over the top of their house, so when it does rain, their house is not going to get flooded. But the thing is, they're still waiting for the insurance companies to pay up. So because of the fact that insurance companies are so fast to take your money, insurance companies don't want to give you their money. Hurricane Helene may have come and gone, but the remnants of the powerful storm, which first made landfall in Florida's Gulf Coast, traveled up eastern seaboard and triggered many heavy rainfalls and flooding as well as Tennessee. This is a Daily Wire article. As predicted, Helene made landfall as a Category 4 hurricane just west of Perry, Florida last Thursday night, and set a new record for the strongest storm to hit the state's Big Bend region. While the strong winds were devastating, massive storm surges caused life-threatening flash floods and devastated entire towns. Almost every property saw some damage when the storm surge left Horseshoe Beach, Florida, which you can see entire cities just collapsed to the floor. The National Hurricane Center warned before Helene hit Florida that the conditions were ripe for flooding and landslides in southern apparitions. This rainfall will likely result in catastrophic and potentially life-threatening flash and urban flooding, along with significant river flooding. Numerous landslides are expected to terrain across southern apparitions, a statement read. In days since the prediction has also proved true, as photos and videos of floods and damages have continued to crop up on social media into the weekend. Massive debris flow traveling at lightning speed in eastern Tennessee. The preceding drought conditions, followed by days of rain ahead of Hurricane Helene, set the stage. This is incredibly rapid for debris flow. Meteorologist Reed Trimmer. Flooding also caused major damage to roads in North Carolina, leaving some major highways, particularly the western part of the state, impassable. And you can see this picture of the highway that's just completely collapsed. You can't even go on the highway anymore because there's no highway there anymore. All roads in and out of Asheville, North Carolina are closed, so you're stuck in Asheville, North Carolina if you're there. It sounds like Asheville is the only accessible by air unless you head up from I-26, and even if you are there, you will encounter closures before the city. This is an absolute mega disaster for western North Carolina on the order of hurricane. This is just crazy. You can't even leave the state. You would have to go all the way around. That's absolutely crazy. Chimney Rock Village is destroyed. It is now a road to nowhere. Yeah, this is absolutely crazy. You can't even go on that road anymore. A life-threatening major flooding of debris flow and born. Video from my friend at the App State, which is just absolutely crazy. You can just see the devastation over here. You can see the flooding, the flash flooding. All these cars are just colliding with each other. Good luck for insurance. Everything's just totaled. Yeah. This is just absolutely crazy. I don't even know what I would do. If I see my car just floating, crashing into other cars, and then you can see all of the farmland that is devastated from this action too. All of this farmland is now unusable because of the situation. Unless they have a major drought. All these tractors are now destroyed. All of this devastation is just absolutely crazy. And I flew over Tennessee because I actually went to Tennessee over the summer, and I saw how much farmland is in Tennessee because it's more dry, and this is just absolutely crazy. There's no more farmland. It's all wet now. And then this is the river knocking down a whole entire bridge. So thank you so much for the infrastructure bill, because now this bridge has to be replaced. So we need another infrastructure bill, because this bridge has just been taken over by the flash flood, and now there is no more bridge to get to anywhere. So good luck with that. That bridge is now closed. You can see another interstate that was just washed away. Good luck. You're trying to leave the state of Tennessee. Boom. No, interstate has just been washed away here. And I think I went on this interstate. I'm not 100% sure. This is in Tennessee. But Tennessee is so huge that I don't even know which part. I think I was in downtown Tennessee, so I don't know if this is really downtown Tennessee, because this doesn't really look like it. It looks more like the countryside of Tennessee, so I don't think I went on this highway. But this is just an interstate, so that means that major highways are now closed because of this hurricane. This is just crazy, affecting so many different locations. And where's Joe Biden exactly? Please, somebody tell me where Joe Biden is during all of this, because did he even make a statement? Let's just see here. As much as Joe Biden likes to vacation, is he still on vacation now? Because if he is, this is a complete disaster. No, okay, so from his personal account, he has said absolutely nothing. Okay, so yeah, he did say something. Okay, so 16 hours ago, he said, I've always said America is defined by one word, possibilities. And there's one word that defies Hispanic heritage. That's 16 hours ago. Now, 12 hours ago, he said, earlier, I was briefed on the impacts of Hurricane Helene and our work to support ongoing responses and recovery efforts. I directed FEMA Diane Criswell to determine what more can be done to accelerate support to those who need it most in isolated communities. As soon as it will not disrupt emergency responses, I intend to travel to these impacted communities. So this is absolutely crazy. This is the only statement that he said. If I was in the White House right now, I would be making tweets as videos are emerging from these situations. This is devastating. This needs to be fixed right now. I'm going to give this much money. This is exactly what I'm going to do here. This is exactly what I'm going to do here. Tennessee, Florida, North Carolina, this, boom, boom, boom. Like, you can solve these problems as for right this second. You can say, okay, this is the money for this situation. This is the money for this situation. Boom, boom. And then you get your team together in the White House and you say, listen, we need to make some moves right now. We need to meet with some governors. Get Governor get Governor Ron DeSantis on the phone right now. I need to talk to him. I need to say I'm so sorry for the loss of the people in your local community, and we're going to give you this money right now. We're going to authorize this. I'm going to sign an executive order, and we're going to get your money to you right this second. And then you need to call the North Carolina governor, and you need to say, listen, I'm so the same exact situation. You need to solve this thing right now. You're talking about interstates. You're talking about people's livelihood. You're talking about people's houses. They have no houses. You're talking about 30 people dying. You're talking about this very bad situation. This situation that has washed away streets. We have mountains with no streets on them. Like, people are just going on the mountain trying to get to the other side of the mountain, and then boom, there's no road there. Now you have to turn around. And what if the road falls as people are driving on the other road that connects to this road that has collapsed? So that's just incredible. I mean, of course, um, Joe Biden doesn't really care because he's been on vacation, so he's more on vacation mode right now. But still, you need to pay attention. You're the president of America, and you need to pay attention to the things that are actually ongoing and the things that are affecting our communities within America right this second. You need to fix the problem. Don't just say, okay, I'm going to go there. No, you actually need to call the governors, get them on the phone, have a meeting with all of the governors all together, and then say, this is what we're going to do. I have all the governors on the phone all together and say, this is a community. We are the United States of America, united, and we're going to help you right this second. Okay? Okay. Moving into the next article, we actually have a Daily Wire article. Disgusting. Team Trump rips Saturday Night Lives for a joke about assassination attempts, which is just disgusting and a really new low for SNL. The Trump campaign has condemned Saturday Night Live for joking about 2 assassination attempts on former President Donald Trump this year. NBC's sketch comedy show, which is actually not a comedy show and just a desperate attempt at the last minute leftists that just want more information on the weekend, I guess. Quote, we love my rallies except for when somebody does a bing bong bing 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 right at me, Johnson's Trump said, as he used his hands to mimic the shooting of guns. You know, this happened because of the rhetoric of the radical left. They say that me blaming Democrats for inciting violence is the pot calling the kettle black. But frankly, I don't know what the kettle was black until very recently. I thought the kettle was Indian. And then it decided to turn black, he added, a nod to the comments Trump made about Vice President Kamala Harris' racial identity, which is completely, I mean, first of all, the pot calling the kettle black. Okay, first of all, you're trying to equate the two things. They really have nothing to do with each other here. Number one, yes, Kamala Harris has always been an Indian American. When she was first elected into the Senate, she has identified as Indian, and now all of a sudden, because it fits her narrative more, the first black woman. Nobody said that she's not black, but why did you identify as Indian first and then code switch to black? I mean, that doesn't really make a lot of sense, but that's not really the icing of the cake here. I mean, that's just a small little idea, but the icing of the cake is that she's just a fake person and keeps switching her personality to fit whatever she wants to actually achieve. So she has no backbone. She has no identity at all as a person. And we don't know who we're actually going to be voting for in November because Kamala, or not we, not me, not ever, not anybody that's actually listening to the show, but a leftist or a Democrat does not know who they're actually voting for because Kamala Harris has switched her positions, switched her racial identity so many times that you have no idea who you're even voting for at this point. I know who I'm voting for, and that's Trump. But the thing is, for these people that are leftist or Democrat, they don't know who they're voting for. Obviously, we're going to be showing the clip here. It's absolutely disgusting.
I'm back. We're having fun. We love my rallies, except when someone does bing bong, bing, 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 right at me. You know, that happened because of the rhetoric of the radical left.
It has everything to do with the rhetoric of the radical left because of the fact that they're saying that Trump is the threat to democracy. Trump is Hitler. Trump is this. Trump is that. Trump is this. This is going to be the last election because of Trump. And then when they lie and lie and lie and lie and lie and make everybody that is just trusting the mainstream media just so worried about this being the last election, which is not the last election, because in 2016 they said the same exact thing. We had 4 years of Trump. We're still here just fine. So, of course, all these people that just trust the mainstream media without actually thinking are going to act on that very thing, in which they did. They acted 2 different times. So you need to take down the rhetoric on the left. Not the right needs to take down the rhetoric. No, the left needs to take down the rhetoric, because this cannot be happening. SNL has been failed as a comedy show for years and years now. And maybe ever since the second season, they failed as a comedy series. So again, it's just not an entertaining show anymore. Whoever watches SNL is just, unless you're making fun of it, you're not really watching it for laughs at this point. So, Hillary Clinton on the dangers of Trump. So now, SNL talks about how Trump has been blaming that, and he's being a buffoon for blaming the left for his assassination attempt. But then Hillary Clinton goes and says the media actually has to go and be more consistent about the narrative about how Trump is a danger, which is just absolutely crazy. I don't how number one, Hillary Clinton is still in American politics, and number two, how you can look at the media and how much they lie and libel Trump, and then say that they need to do it even more, which is just absolutely disgusting. So, twice failed Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton said last week that the media needed to promote a, quote, a consistent narrative that former President Donald Trump was a, quote, danger despite surviving multiple assassination attempts. Clinton made the remarks during a special edition of CBS News' Firing Line with Margaret Hoover at the Clinton Global Initiative. I think that it is existential. Clinton said about the threat that she believes Trump poses to American democracy. And I say that based on what he says in what Project 2025 proposes as an agenda for the second Trump term. Okay. Enough about Project 2025. If you want to know about Project 2025, go to project2025.com. Okay, if you want to really know about Project 2025, then you need to actually check out that website. It actually outlines everything about what Project 2025 is and what you can actually do to actually try to quote unquote stop Project 2025. So check that out. Okay, all the leftists, check out Project 2025. But as for the people that actually have 2 brain cells to rub together, project2025.com is not an actual affiliated Project 2025 website. It is actually Matt Walsh's movie. Am I racist? But don't tell a leftist. But the thing is, here at the same exact time, Project 2025 is shutting down. It has no affiliation to Trump. And not only that, but Trump has came out and said that he does not even like Project 2025. He says he agrees with some things, but he didn't read it all because it's 1,000 pages. It's just policy positions that Trump, or it's not even policy positions. It's people that Trump should put in the White House in certain areas of the White House. That's it. That's all it is. Clinton claimed that Trump ordered all sorts of investigations into her and that she was the most investigated innocent person you have ever met in your entire life. What are you even talking about? What investigation have you ever went through? Because you hid documents that you had on personal servers. You bleach bit it, and you made sure that nobody could see what you were actually doing. So you are not the most investigated innocent person of all time. If anybody, it's Trump. What did Trump actually do for him to be raided by the FBI? What did Trump actually do when it comes down to all of these different things? New York is now coming out, and we're going to be talking about this later in this episode here. New York is coming out and saying that Trump did not cause a loss to any money, so he will not be fined $340 million or whatever it is. We're going to be talking about it. It's just absolutely disgusting here because of all these things that they tried to push on Trump, which actually has no coherent sense. So the press needs to be consistent on its narrative about the danger that Trump poses and said, because, people may still look at the danger or say, I don't care. It doesn't affect me. I was going to vote for him XYZ. Clinton claims that something will happen in October to Vice President Kamala Harris that she insinuated will come from Russians. There will be a concerted effort to distort and pervert Kamala Harris, who she is and who she stands for, what she has done, she claimed. So I don't know what's going to be, but it will be something, and we'll have to work very, very hard to make sure that it is exposed as the lie that it is. Okay, so Hillary Clinton is preparing the mainstream media for quote Russian disinformation. That does not make any sense because Putin endorsed Kamala Harris. So why would Russia come out with the Russian quote misinformation against the candidate that he endorsed? It just does not make any sense. The the leftists in the media have no idea what they're talking about at all because of the fact that they just make up stories, they just make up things over and over again that they just forget what lie they told last time. And it has no coherent sense whatsoever. It has no coherent sense, much like this. A New York judge is now scrutinizing the troubling $450 million penalty in Trump fraud case. No one lost any money, of course. This is what I exactly talked about when this case first came up. No one lost any money, so how are you going to expect to prove that somebody lost $400 million when the person that lost money was Trump paying more money in interest to the banks for artificially inflating the value of his houses? Or not artificially inflating, but on paper inflating the value of his properties to make him look a little bit better, which everybody does. So what if anybody's paying more money, it's Trump. So why are you going to charge him $450 million? It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Goodness, just disgusting here. Manhattan Supreme Court Judge Arthur Engoron ordered in February former President Donald Trump to pay an approximate $450 million penalty in a civil fraud case in which there were no victims whatsoever. Now, a New York appointed court is raising questions regarding the troubling penalty and Attorney General Letitia James' justification for bringing the case in the first place. So, James accused Trump of inflating his personal wealth to get better loan terms. Trump, for example, valued his Mar-a-Lago estate at between $427 million and $612 million, Forbes reported. Engoron, however, cited a one-off local Palm Beach County appraiser who valued the property as low as $18 million, which just makes no sense whatsoever. Because how can you value a property at $18 million when properties next to it is worth $50 million, and that's not even surrounded at the beach. It's not surrounded by beach, number one, and it's not as big as Mar-a-Lago, and it's not even as close to the beach as Mar-a-Lago. So, like I said, it's not even on the beach property for $50 million. What makes you think that Mar-a-Lago is less than that property? It just does not make any sense. As my colleague Mark Hemingway explained earlier this year, Trump took out loans for several years as real estate moguls who are real estate moguls won't do. For him to get approved for those loans, the banks did not do their own due diligence about Trump's finances and ability to pay back the loans and decided to give them to him. Trump paid back the loans and everyone made money, of course. Engoron ultimately ordered Trump to pay $354 million plus an additional $100 million in interest. Trump posted a $175 million bond in April and appealed the ruling, of course. So, again, Trump had the money. He had $175 million to give to Engoron in this bond. And then they're going to sit here and say that he's poor. He's not really rich. He's faked everything. It doesn't even make any sense. What millionaire has, or what billionaire at this point, has $175 million sitting in cash? Nobody, especially if you run for president, which you're using most of your cash for the presidency. Trump's team argued on Thursday before the New York appointed division, First Judicial Department, that the case was a clear-cut violation of the statute of limitations. Of course, in the statute of limitations used to bring charges against the former president ultimately did not justify the action taken, of course. Throughout the hearing, some of the justices appeared receptive to the Trump team's claims regarding the case. Justice Lynette Rosaduro questioned how the penalty was calculated. Justice Peter Moulton also asked Vail about the troubling penalty. The immense penalty in the case is troubling, Moulton said. How do you tether the amount that was assessed by the Supreme Court to the harm that was caused here where parties left these transactions happy? Of course. Vail acknowledged the penalty was large, but argued it is a large number in part because there was a large amount of fraud and illegality. Justice David Freeman Earlier this in the hearing, asked Vale whether James had brought any other cases under the same law in the circumstances as she brought charges against Trump. He later contended to Val that the cited president hardly seems to justify bringing an action protect Deutsche Bank against Donald Trump, which is what you have here. You've got two really sophisticated parties in which no one lost any money, and that was the point of the initial question. He continued before claiming every case cited as jurisdiction instead involved damage to consumers, damage to marketplace, or a scheme to get unsophisticated consumers to take out home loans. And I completely agree with this. If nobody lost money, how are you going to expect somebody to pay back the money that nobody lost? It just does not make any sense whatsoever. And what also doesn't make any sense whatsoever is this person that works in the school system, a public school system. We hear about stuff like this every single day at this point, and then people will continually lie about private schools, which does not make any sense whatsoever. But here's a Virginia school bus aide that is allegedly essaying disabled 4 and 5-year-olds, which is just completely disgusting. A school bus aide in Virginia essayed multiple 4 to 5-year-olds with disabilities on the school bus on Thursday, police said. According to a jail booking, this person was booked for 8 counts of aggravated SB of a victim less than 13 years old, sodomy in indecent libraries with a child by a custodian, and is being held without bond. Good. Police Major Troy Skibo said on a Saturday statement that the school authorities notified the police suspicions that the inappropriate touching of a student had occurred on a school bus. This is exactly why there should be cameras on every single school bus. Detectives with the Child Victim Unit and the school administration immediately started an investigation and obtained substantial evidence that this person, S-Aid, 3 separate children on a school bus on the day of September 26th. The victims' age ranges from 4 to 5-year-olds who are students with disabilities, which is absolutely disgusting, and there's a special place in hell for a person like this. Skibo said that this person is an immigrant who is a legal permanent resident who has no known criminal record. Superintendent Clint M. Mitchell was not informed that the community of this incident. The Daily Wire sent Mitchell questions about the incident at 2 p.m. on Friday, but as of this writing, has not responded. The Commonwealth attorney Ryan Meffery told the Daily Wire that the case is very important to the community and it has my undivided attention. He said that the charging documents could not be released because it is currently in juvenile court. This is a rural county 60 miles south of Washington, D.C., which is just absolutely disgusting here. I just can't believe how he has the opportunity to do this. Like, why is he alone? Usually, there's an aide and then there's a school bus driver. If I was a school bus driver and I see this aide touching students, I would pull over the bus immediately, slap the hell out of this aide, and call the police immediately. Because this aide deserves to rot in prison, deserves to have the rest of his life in prison, and at bare minimum, he should get deported. I mean, the thing is here, you're a resident of this country with the terms of you actually following its laws and you doing evil stuff to this country. And I take back the thing that he should be deported, because we need to see him actually fulfill the consequences of his actions here in America. I don't trust a foreign government to do the actions. I don't at all. I trust our government to do the actions. Keep him in prison or give him the death penalty. Now, you should not be doing this to children, especially 4 to 5-year-olds, which is just absolutely disgusting. And then on top of that, a person that is disabled is just absolutely evil stuff here. In the fact that he thought about doing this, and then actually did it. And it's the beginning of the year. How long has he been working in the school system? Why did he get into the school system? It's just great. I just can't put my mind around why somebody would actually do that at all. It just does not make any sense. I just don't know what's happening with society. I really don't. I really don't want to know what's happening. With that being said, I didn't mean to end this on such a horrible note, but I'm sorry if anybody has gone through this type of stuff with an aide, with a person that they looked up to. Absolutely disgusting. With that being said, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening, and I hope they have a great rest of your day. If you did like this episode and you do want to see more, I do post new episodes of my show every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening, and I hope they have a great rest of your day.